Many youths in the streets of Nairobi are not employed, but one lady is making sure that they just don't look up to employment. Join me as we learn more from her as she explains what she does. Welcome to the show. You can start by introducing yourself to us, let us know who you are and what you do. Then also take us back to what you were doing before that and what you're doing now.
Okay, thank you so much. My name is Jane Kagiri and I run a company called Creative Ed Solutions. Creative Ed Solutions was established in the year 2007, and let me state that I have never been employed, not even for a day, because when I completed my studies in 2006, I studied in India, and I came back to the country thinking I was very employable because I'd studied computer science. But when I came, employment was never forthcoming, and so in the year 2007, January, I remembered what my lecturers in India always told us, that you should be employers, not employees. So there and then I decided to refocus, and I actually registered a company which is Creative Ed Solutions. And then I decided that I would trade with government and government would be my only client. So there and then I started getting my documents ready, that is the registration. And immediately that was done, now I started going all out to look for government business.
And coming to start this company that you have, did you need any capital? And if so, where was it from?
Let me say, then you did not need capital, but even without needing the capital, the bureaucracy was just too much, because from the aspect of registering the company, there was a problem. Getting your PIN was also a problem, getting the tax compliance was a bigger problem, and then there was no consideration for young people then who are struggling to try and establish themselves. I'll give you an example, like if it was government business we wanted to do, there's something that is called a pre-qualification, where you introduce your company to the government. That document at that point used to cost 3,000 shillings. So as much as you'd want to start running, we still could not do it, because even the 3,000 was never forthcoming and you didn't know where to start. So there was a lot of borrowing from friends involved, and you're borrowing, not even sure when you're going to return, because it's not a business you're even assured when you're going to get a response. So it was very difficult. If it came to documents like tenders, we used to buy at 5,000 shillings. Yet you're buying a document which you're not even sure if you can win, and again you're competing against the giants. So even the chances of you winning are almost nil. A lot of requirements then were there, because we also used to be checked experience. So you're checking experience to a person who has never done anything, but is trying to do something. So the hindrances were just too many back then. Yeah.
Jane has mentioned that the government is one of her clients. We'd like her to detail to us the kind of services that she offers and extends to the government.
We still offer IT solutions services, which actually take a bigger chunk of the services that we offer, because like the Directorate of Criminal Investigations is our client in terms of IT solutions. The government press is our client in that regard. The Salaries Remuneration Commission is also our client. Then in terms of construction, like at Kenyatta University, we are actually supplying the stones that are doing a lot of construction there. A place like Kenyatta International Convention Center, that is KICC, we are renovating their toilets, so that's the line we've taken in terms of construction. And we've also done furniture for a few embassies, e.g. the South Sudan Embassy, the Malawian High Commission. So those are some of other clients that we've gotten along the way. Yeah.
What kind of challenges did you encounter along the way while doing this?
Let me appreciate that since 2013, the barriers have actually been broken down, because just as I'd explained earlier, there used to be so much we used to encounter before the 30% consideration for government tendering was brought in, where the Jubilee government stated that for every woman, youth and persons with disability, they have to be given special consideration in terms of government business, and 30% of government business has to actually go to these groups. Before, that is in between 2007 to 2013, that's where we faced all our challenges, because just as I'd stated, then we had to pay for every document that we'd get with the government. For example, if it's the tender, as I stated, we used to buy it at 5,000 shillings. On top of the 5,000 shillings, we were required to pay another 5,000 shillings for bid bond, showing that you're actually committed to do this business. In case you ever won a tender at that particular time, there's something they used to call a performance bond, where we used to pay 10% of the value of the tender. The other challenge we used to encounter then used to be checked experience. So you're being checked experience against very established companies. So that was a very big challenge we used to encounter. Not forgetting the financial services. Now banks listen to people. Back then, no bank would listen to you if you don't have an income or if you don't look like you are about to get an income.
When you walk into Jane's office, you find a pool of people. We'd like to know what these people come here to do, yet she has the government as her client.
What happened is that before the GES summit, we actually did a pre-GES exhibition at the KICC together with other companies. And what was our agenda during that exhibition? We were trying to demystify the myths that people have about trading with government. Reason being, we observed the last budget that was read, which was I think 1.6 trillion. And in that budget, if we had considered the 30% of that amount, the amount of business that was supposed to go to youth, women and persons with disability was supposed to be 200 billion that particular financial year. What happened is the amount of business that was done by youth, women and persons with disability was only 10 billion shillings. So to us as a company, we looked at the situation and thought this 190 billion has gone back to the government and it shall never come back to us again. So we observed the situation and realized if we don't wake up and start creating awareness in this country that everybody needs to take up this opportunity, we are also going to lose it as a company. Because when it looks like it's something that is not working, at the end of the day, it's going to die a natural death. So we decided we must get out and start sensitizing people to take up this opportunity. Again, we also looked at a situation where before 2013, we were just two of us in this company. Slowly, we have grown in terms of employee and workforce. And even sometimes when we have projects, we end up employing up to 100 people, casuals. So we looked at the situation and thought everybody in this country is complaining about unemployment, yet anybody who falls under the 30% has an opportunity or potential to actually be a very big employer. Because if each one of us took up that challenge, the situation in the country would change. So that's how we decided that every Thursday in our office, we would set it aside as a day where we just train people for free and tell them how to go about government tendering. So far, I think we have trained more than 200 people, and we still look forward to doing more. Because everybody walks in here, we assist them, we tell them how to fill up pre-qualifications, we advise them on how we've gone about even the challenges we encounter, and slowly we are seeing it gaining results.
This is a sector that has big giants, as Jane would put it. We'd like to know, how is she coping with this big giant competition kind of a thing?
The other thing I've learned with business is what is yours is yours. Sometimes you're competing against big giants and you find the big giant forgot to sign a certain page. And along the way, you end up to have met all the requirements and they're left with no choice but to actually award you the tender. So we used to get business even then, once, maybe one or twice per year, which was maybe sufficient then, or so we thought. But along the way, now these challenges have reduced because when it comes to the 30%, I find that I'm competing against fellow women, fellow youth, maybe if it's PWDs, they'll be considered against themselves. So it becomes easier for everybody.
Jane, where do you see Creative Edge Solutions in the next few years?
My future plans, 5 years from now, I hope to get out of the 30% category and actually start competing with the big giants. That's what I look forward to. Whereby Thika Road can also be done by a woman, or another big superhighway coming up can also be done by a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
She's one lady who hates to see unemployed youth out there in the street. What would be her advice to them? Let's hear it.
The first piece of advice I would give anybody is don't listen to anybody who tells you no. Because even as we do these trainings, you get people who will tell you so many myths and you actually want to ask them why they did not take their own step and go into these offices. Because people want to sit home and just listen to what whoever said or what the other person said.
Jane has been consistent in training people for free on how to approach government for business. We'd like to know whether there are any success stories on what she has been doing.
Yes, we have a few success stories because out of maybe the 200 people we've trained, we've had like 5 cases of people who have come back and they've successfully won tenders or gotten orders from the government. We have a lady who got one in IT solutions. We've had one who has even gotten into construction. We have others who are doing furniture, others who are doing stationery, and various other sectors. However, we also want to consider success of another like 50 people who have gone through the registration process successfully. whereby they know they have their registration certificate, their PIN certificates, their compliance certificate, and even the AGPO certificate, which is the Access to Government Procurement Opportunity Certificate. Why I consider that success is because most people fall by the wayside. When you find your first certificate, you think it's too much work to get the other 3. And once anybody has the 4 certificates, you can be sure now they're going to get business automatically. Yeah.
That is end of part 1, and after the break, we have a story for you. It's all about a man in a purportedly woman-dominated industry. Keep it here. Hey Tony, what's up?
Fine, how are you?
Good, good. It's good to have you on the show tonight.
Thanks, Paul.
I can see kazi imeanza.
Imeanza.
Ama inaendelea?
Inaendelea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I was telling guys before the break that you're in a woman-dominated kind of business.
Yes.
Maybe take me back to where you started and what brought you to this business.
First, I'll tell you, Paul, I'm doing my dream job. This is what I wanted to do since, I joined Form 1. So when I joined Form 1, I started doing people's hair in school, like charging them and doing something to them. Then, there was no color, so we used to take, there's a soap, it was called Lifebuoy, the red one. So I used to apply it on people's hair on weekends, and this is what I wanted to do. So after Form 4, since my mother knew this is what I wanted to do, she's the one who applied for me at college.
After going through college in this business that you're doing,
Yeah.
did you need any capital to start? And if so, where did you get this money from? Since I could say you were a student at that time.
Yeah, I went to college, but before I started my own business, I was employed. I was employed for 4 years, and I saved. I truly saved. I didn't get a loan or something. I saved, and we started as a partnership. We did a partnership for 6 months, and everyone was comfortable, and I decided to shift. So my partner is in the same building, the same floor. Yes. So it's saving. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Are you comfortable to say probably how much you're going to put in, for the start of the business?
Now it's 9 years since I opened here. Probably I started with 290,000. Yeah. But I didn't have everything here. 2 seats, 2 stations. 1 sink, 1 dryer, and with time I started, adding the seat, adding the dryers, adding staff and everything. Exactly. Even the floor was not there.
Now, you having started this business, how did your male friends take it? Take this since everybody thinks it's a woman's business.
14 years ago, it was not like now. Now it's not a surprise when people see you doing hair, and it's not like then. People would pass next to a salon and they'll pause and see ni mwanaume anatengeneza. Now it's different. Yeah, so of course I got people telling me, are you sure? But I loved it, and I was doing my dream job, so I was happy. It's about me, and then the rest. So I didn't take it as an excuse that people don't like it, so I won't do it, or I won't go the next step. Exactly. Yeah.
Having gone into a totally kind of business, what challenges did you get to face along the way?
First is, there's peer pressure in our industry, very much peer pressure. So I had to overcome the peer pressure first. That was a challenge. The peer pressure is in a lot of ways, So that is the biggest challenge. The second challenge is when you get into any business, and I think it's every business, ladies don't want somebody who's not sure. So you have to fake it, you're good, and you're not really good, but you have to fake it. So I came up with a style. I was working with one of the best hairdressers in Nairobi, so I knew I could not do hair like him. So I started doing makeup. So I'll do your hair. I know I can't do it like him, but I'll do a little bit of makeup. So people started liking that, the extra service, like I'll do your hair, and then I'll do your lipstick, I'll do your makeup a little bit. Though I had not even done the makeup in class, but I had that interest. Was it fortunate or unfortunately, I used to work with somebody whose name was also big, and he was Tony. So sometimes I would do a good job, but when a client comes in there, they ask for Tony, it can't be me. It has to be the other Tony. So I had to change. I had to now start using my both names, Tony Airo, so that people can differentiate between the other Tony and Tony Airo.
All right. And In your salon, what kind of services do you get to offer here?
Anything to do with hair mostly we do. You know, braiding, coloring, cutting, retouching, you know, weaving, lace glues, you know, we do, and you know, manicure, pedicures, facials, we do makeup even. But sometimes there are things that come in and you know, it's new technology. So it takes time for us to do it again. Yes. But we do everything. Yes. We don't do massages because the setup does not allow us to do massages, but we do facials.
When one is entering your shop or your salon, they get to see products that are in your name.
Yes.
How did you come up with that, and where do you get to manufacture them from?
The dream of doing my product came when I traveled. I went to the States and I went for a course in the States. So every salon you'd go to, they'll tell you we don't have a space. But you know, after showing them a profile, you know, I used to work for Standard, so I had so many articles, you know, I carried them, and they would ask me, and do you have your own product? So, because they see you have all these things you've written in paper, do you have your own product? So it came into my mind that I can do my own product. Is it real? And this was America, so I was thinking, can I do it back home? So when I came back home, I approached, you know, some few factories if they can do contract manufacturing for me. And okay, most of them were expensive, or most of them were too busy, you know, they have so much production, they can't have time for that small guy down there. So I got somebody who started making for me shampoo and conditioner, which what I was doing with that, because the amount of money he was selling for me, I would not make a lot of money. I would not make a profit, but I decided I will still do it to make a name. Because if people trust you with the simplest thing like shampoo and conditioner, it is easy for them to trust you with the treatments, with the, you know, the leave-ins, the oils and everything. So I came back, I got somebody to do contract manufacturing for me. He did contract manufacturing for me for 3 years. And you know, that thing came to me that I can do my own, because I was taking and putting a label, taking and putting a label, taking and putting a label. Now I decided, now can I do it on my own?
Now, ladies that you're targeting,
Yes,
have so many places that they can go to make their hair. What would make you, Tony Idol, very unique and make the same ladies come back to you for the service that you give?
I know what I do here can be done in another salon, but what makes this client come to me all the time, for me, is consistency. One, consistent. Secondly, right now, people associate me that I have a product and I'm doing hair, I must be knowing what I'm doing.
Talking of people insisting on you using your products, where can they find these products? Are they in local stores around?
They're in local stores around. My biggest distributor is Best Lady shop, which is all over the country. There are like 13 shops, so you can get them in Nyeri, Nakuru, Mombasa, Karatina, Meru, Nairobi. You can get them there, and also have other small shops, but they are there. If you want this product to also get to your local cosmetic shop, ask for it, and they'll get me. This is my dream job. I love it. I enjoy it. My slogan is, I speak one language here. I feel I don't get tired doing this. Yes, I don't get. That's the reason why I'm consistent, because I love what I do. It's not like I'm forced to do it.
And to that young person watching you right now, what would be your advice, you know, in terms of following their dream and getting into entrepreneurship?
I would say, be consistent. Consistent is the key. Don't do it because Tony is doing it. Don't do it because so-and-so is doing it.
Are you consistent in what you're doing? That is something that I got to learn from Tony. We value your feedback and your comments, so kindly get in touch with us on our social media pages that are on your screen right now: Facebook, Twitter, and our email address. If you know of anyone that we can feature on this show, kindly do not hesitate to get in touch with us and give us their contacts. We will appreciate. It is good night and God bless you from the team and I. Till next week, Thursday, 8:30 p.m., I've been your presenter, Paul K. Mwaura.